So, it's Shadows the Hedgehog's year. It's Shadow the Hedgehog's year. Oh my god, how many times am I going to mess this up? He's practically got 100 things coming out, featuring him across the globe faster than I'll be able to publish this video. So, I drew him, but I didn't want him to be alone because I figured that'd be too lonely, so I added Blaze the cat. So, here's how this went. Quick disclaimer, I've never, this is my first time doing a voiceover of any videos, so sorry if I don't have that much confidence or I'm really nervous. This is my first time. First things first, when trying to figure out how I would actually draw this, I had nothing. I didn't have any inspiration or anything like that. So I went to the very friendly place we all know as Pinterest, a place where all the artists go to drown and die in the overwhelming amount of artwork. So on there, I looked into shadow art because I figured that's who I wanted to draw. And there were a lot of illustrations of him. But there was definitely one that caught my eye. It was him in a suit, and he looked like an agent of some sort who was going on a mission of some kind. And I thought the idea was pretty cool. So I took it, and I drew it. But, I drew it. However, I didn't know how I was going to do it. Like what the composition was, what pose he should be making. And I figured adding someone else would be a good idea. So I added Blaze. Now, I know what you're gonna say. Usually in a lot of artwork or just period, Rouge would be a nice, well, she is technically like Shadow's partner in crime, so why would I add Blaze? I don't really know why I did. I just did see a lot of artwork of her when I was on Pinterest scrolling, looking for some. And I didn't know how to feel about that. So I decided to add her onto Shadow. I figured their personalities are really similar-ish, kind of. So I was like, yeah, that seems like a cool idea. So I added her as his counterpart. And this would be, I guess the theme I was going for was them being agents working for this top secret government of some kind or agency, and they were going on a mission. So that's why they're wearing this very strict uniform and they have the weapons they do, going on this mission. Once I figured out what I wanted to go with, then the composition came to me. But first I drew it in my sketchbook, the poses I wanted the characters to do. It was interesting. It kind of shocked me because I don't have that much experience drawing Sonic characters, period. Like, I really do love and like the franchise. I think it's honestly so cool, and I love the characters' personalities and their, like, just characters, period. But I never really drew them, so this is honestly the first time I'm ever drawing any Sonic characters, and because of that, I didn't think it would look or do good, so I honestly wanted to just scrap the whole thing and throw it away. But I decided to keep it and keep going. So drawing in my sketchbook, I know I wanted them to be back to back, a pose like that, and well, yeah, like in the middle of, I guess, a fight scene or something like that. So yeah, I wanted that atmosphere to be kind of blank, I guess. It's really empty. Not much going on in the background, but for them to be the focus and for them to be the focus point and the center, which I hoped I portrayed. I'm not really sure if I did well, but yeah. Once I had the sketch down, I put it into Procreate and I just drew over it because the composition, the poses were honestly perfect, and if I tried to redraw it without tracing over it, it just would look like a disaster. So once I did that, it was just a sketch. I added all of the necessary parts I needed, and then things kind of went downhill because here's the thing, like I said before, I didn't have any experience drawing Sonic characters, and especially not their body proportions. So when I did try to draw their feet, it gave me major flashbacks of that one game where Sonic was a werehog, I think that's his name. Yeah, no, it was terrible. I didn't know what was going on. It honestly scared me. Um, so I went back to Pinterest for more inspiration, and because of their outfits, I could just make them wear like sneakers or something. Sneakers are those really uh, shoes made for like running or something. I definitely couldn't draw that. So, and I wasn't really sure how I would draw something like the shoes I was going for in such a style where the proportions are just ridiculous or just ridiculously big towards the bottom of the character. But somehow it ended up coming out well. I'm glad. I honestly don't know how it happened, but yeah, it did. So, yay. Once I was done with the sketch, I went on to the coloring portion. In coloring, I do take a lot of inspiration from really dreamy looking illustrations. I really like the way it looks, like glassy hair, very detailed eyes, and like the character kind of blending in with the atmosphere. I like that kind of coloring style. So I try to portray that in this, and um it was quite difficult at first because I wasn't really showing much of that dreamy aspect towards the first half of the drawing, but towards the ending, I think I got it in just a little. I just a little. So yes. So yeah. So yeah. The colors. Well, since Sonic and Shadow and Blaze already have color palettes laid out for them, I just drew that. But for their clothes, I wasn't really sure what I should go for, so I just went with really neutral colors, browns, blacks. um Blaze, I wanted her clothes to be a little brighter than Shadow's, since her fur is of a lighter color. Than him, just to show a little bit of contrast there. But I didn't want it to blend in with like the atmosphere or anything. Not too much. Like she had to like stand out just a little bit. So once I laid out the colors, I added the shading, which I already had in my notebook, and then it was time for the rendering. Yay! The most excruciating part of the drawing, the part I literally have nightmares about. So first things, so when doing the rendering, here was the first step. I don't really follow a rule of thumb when it comes to rendering, because I kind of just, well, I don't know. There's not really much of anything I go off of when I'm rendering. It's just me, the canvas, and my pencil. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't really have any rules or anything when I'm rendering. So yeah, this is just what I'm doing. I guess I just do whatever, because there's not really any steps when it comes to rendering necessarily. So I wouldn't really be able to tell you what I did, but I guess I'll try. So first up, when I do rendering, I guess I focus on the focal point, which would be the character's eyes or faces, and I render that first, and then I would do the clothes. Well, yeah, I render that first. So I try to add as much detail as possible to the face and the eyes and such, especially the eyes, which I'm not too good at drawing yet, but I definitely tried. I add more detail in that area than anything else of the drawing. And then I will move on to the clothes or accessories or something like that. And here's the thing, because when I drew, well, when I was in the process of drawing Blaze's pants, it was pretty interesting because I feel like I gained like a whole bunch of motivation to actually draw her, and well, to draw her pants for some odd reason, random, to draw her pants, and they ended up looking way better than the rest of the whole drawing. So I So like, if the first thing you notice is her pants, like, I wouldn't blame you, because they have way more detail than the rest of the drawing. It just doesn't make any sense. Um, yeah, so I guess when drawing the clothes, I added a little more detail there than I needed to make their faces the focal point. It wasn't really the focal point, I guess, since there was so much detail in the clothes. Um, yeah. So after that, I do the finishing touches, or just I clean up a few other things. I try to keep it messy because I don't really like doing line art or that style at all. I like my drawings to be messy, and because it looks more natural to me, at least, I think. Um, so yeah, I clean up a few things here and there, not too much though, and then I add some finishing touches, which would be just dots and uh which would just be, yeah, dots. What else? I add reflective colors, because things like reflective colors like bounce light, or for like shadows rings, I added, since they were in the sunlight, I made them reflect on the clothes. So that's why it's yellowish in that area towards shadow sleeves and such. So just a lot of reflective light. I added that, and then I did a few things like curve balance, where I changed the saturation and the hue, and made the darks a little more darker, and lighter colors pop a little more. And then chromatic aberration, noise, not too much of that though, and a few, and just and lastly, a logo in the back of them, because I thought that looked pretty nice, saying Blaze and Shadow, because they were the main character, they were the characters from this illustration, so I thought that'd be pretty cool, so I put that in there too. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the speed paint. I hope you all enjoyed the video, because I'm really nervous, or I have a feeling that it probably isn't that good. So yes, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope I explained this as well as I could. Um, um, yeah, I don't really know if I did or didn't. Yeah, I just hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you guys have any ideas you would like to see me do in the future of Sonic characters or anything period, please let me know, because I can't come up with ideas on my own. I'm not too good at that. It's the fact that I use Pinterest way too much. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. I'm Pastel Palette, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I don't know. Yeah. Have a good day.